Jong-suk, a housewife, needs her husband's liver for a transplant. Mary, her mother-in-law, doesn't like this idea. Mary quickly walks up to Jong-suk. Mary says Jong-suk's condition isn't life-threatening, yet she tells Jong-suk to wait for other donors. Seeing Jong-suk stay silent, Mary suddenly pretends to feel dizzy. Jong-suk glances at her husband In-ho, who is holding Mary. In-ho doesn't say anything either. He just helps his mother sit down to rest. 20 years ago Jong-suk was a beautiful surgeon, but after marriage she quit her job, as Mary wanted. She gave up her bright future to be a housewife. Mary often brainwashes Jong-suk, saying a woman's greatest achievement is serving her family. If Jong-suk raises better kids than others, no honor can compare to that. But even though Jong-suk follows Mary's rules and gives her all to the family, she only gets endless humiliation in return. One day she forgets to add salt to the soup. In-ho yells at her angrily. He says he works hard to earn money, but Jong-suk can't even do simple housework right. Jong-suk slams her bowl down. She wants to talk back, but instantly forces a smile. Instead she says she'll be more careful next time. She doesn't want to ruin the family peace over small things. But Jong-suk never expected this. She has lived by In-ho and Mary's rules for 20 years. Now she has acute hepatitis and needs her family's help. But In-ho and Mary treat her so cruelly. When Jong-suk's mother learns how Mary treats her daughter, she immediately storms into Mary's room. She scolds Mary angrily. She says if it were In-ho who needed a transplant, Jong-suk would agree without hesitation. Mary sits up and snaps back. Now it's Jong-suk who needs my son In-ho's liver, not In-ho needing Jong-suk's liver. That's why you're saying this. Jong-suk's mother can't believe Mary's shamelessness. She says, my daughter worked like a slave in your house. You treated her as your daughter-in-law when she cooked and cleaned. Now that my daughter is sick and needs your son, you suddenly call her your daughter. Furious Jong-suk's mother storms out. But as she leaves she sees Jong-suk heard everything. Jong-suk wants to confront Mary, but her mother stops her. To save Jong-suk, her mother uses her life savings to ask her nephew, Mike, for help. She wants Mike to donate part of his liver. But Mike just had a newborn baby. He's afraid something might go wrong. His young child would have no one to care for him. Mike refuses to help. But right at this moment Jong-suk suddenly faints in the hospital as her condition gets worse. The doctors say she needs surgery immediately, otherwise her life is in danger. After returning home, their daughter, Emma, cries and begs her father, In-ho, to donate part of his liver to save her mom Jong-suk. But In-ho says it's not that simple. He explains that anything can go wrong during surgery. Their son, Alex, doesn't want to hear his excuses. He interrupts his father mid-sentence. Alex says, if you really wanted to help, you wouldn't think so much about it. Hearing this, In-ho closes his eyes and struggles with his thoughts. Finally his conscience wins, and he agrees to donate his liver to Jong-suk. The hospital schedules the surgery for the next day. But when it's time to sign the consent form, In-ho fears he might not survive the operation. As he hesitates, his mother rushes in. She tears up his consent form. Even In-ho's secret lover, Dr. Sung-hee, texts him telling him not to sign the donation papers. She writes, once Jong-suk dies, we can be together openly. Jong-suk sees her husband is hesitating. She feels completely hopeless. She asks herself, am I really not worth anything? Luckily, a car crash victim's liver becomes available at the hospital. His liver is a perfect match for donation. This saves Jong-suk's life. On her first day home after surgery, Jong-suk makes breakfast for the whole family. But as usual, everyone complains about it. Her daughter says, the toast is stale. Her son says, the bread is too dry. In-ho says, the coffee is too sour. Even her mother-in-law joins in. She says, you're too slow at making juice. When Jong-suk finishes and goes to eat, she sees there's no place set for her. The four of them seem happier without her. She feels completely unwanted. She realizes her family sees her as nothing more than a maid. After cleaning up their leftovers, Jong-suk decides that starting today, she'll change her role in this family. She immediately goes to the mall using In-ho's credit card. She buys everything she wanted but never allowed herself to get before. When In-ho sees the spending alerts, he turns red with anger. He leaves work to call Jong-suk and yell at her. But Jong-suk shouts back at him. She says, I gave this family 20 years of my life, and now I see I have nothing to show for it. The only thing under my name is this phone I'm using now. She says, I won't live like a doormat anymore. Jong-suk hangs up firmly after saying this. Her husband, In-ho, stands frozen after hearing this. He doesn't know there's more trouble coming his way that night. At home, Jong-suk remembers how In-ho refused to sign the form to save her life, just because his mother told him not to. She thinks he's truly heartless. She walks to his bedside. She slaps his sleeping face loudly several times. Woken by the slaps, In-ho immediately demands an explanation. Jong-suk calmly replies, "I just felt upset." In-ho wants to get angry, but when he sees Jong-suk's determined look, he quickly makes excuses. "I need the bathroom. I just want to use the toilet." He scrambles out of the room in panic. This is just the start of Jong-suk's change. Next morning, Jong-suk doesn't make breakfast for the family. She only makes juice for herself and eats alone. Her daughter, Emma, asks why there's no breakfast. Jong-suk replies bluntly, "You never liked my cooking anyway, so she won't make breakfast anymore." She tells her daughter to cook for herself. In-ho comes out at this moment. In-ho asks Jong-suk why she didn't grind coffee for him. Jong-suk points to the instant coffee nearby. She tells him to make it himself. When her mother-in-law wakes up and comes out, she also asks Jong-suk if juice is ready for her. Jong-suk naturally points to the fridge. She says there are fresh fruits inside. She tells her mother-in-law to pick her favorite and make it herself. Her mother-in-law gets angry right away, but In-ho coughs to stop her. When her mother-in-law starts making juice herself, Jong-suk hands her a used cup. She tells her to wash it while she's at it. Then she leaves the house without looking back. That afternoon, Jong-suk goes to In-ho's hospital. She says she wants her name added to the house deed. When In-ho tries to say no, Jong-suk cuts him off. She says she's not asking for permission. She's just letting him know because this is what she deserves. That evening, In-ho talks to his mother. He tells her about Jong-suk's request. His mother immediately says no. She says the house will go to their grandson. She tells In-ho to talk to Jong-suk. Then In-ho tells Jong-suk what his mother said. But Jong-suk doesn't care much about the house issue. She already has a new goal in mind. She decides to return to work at the hospital. She wants to fulfill her childhood dream, using her top student skills from 20 years ago. She gets first place in the exam and joins In-ho's hospital on her first day as an intern. Her trainer turns out to be Sung-hee, In-ho's secret lover. When Sung-hee sees Jong-suk, her mouth drops open in shock. She's afraid Jong-suk will discover her affair with In-ho. In-ho rushes to Sung-hee's department when he hears the news. He sees his wife standing with Sung-hee. He's so scared he can barely breathe. At this rate, their secret will come out soon. Soon Sung-hee confronts him. She asks if he has no say at home. "Your wife came right to my workplace. Aren't you afraid she'll find out about us?" When he stays silent, Sung-hee gets angrier. She snaps at him. "Should I quit as hospital professor to make room for your wife's internship?" Sung-hee storms off angrily to make things hard for Jong-suk. Sung-hee starts speaking very fast during patient rounds, so Jong-suk can't take notes properly. Then Sung-hee goes to see director. She doesn't want Jong-suk working with her. She says Jong-suk is almost 50 years old, yet she came to the hospital as an intern. She blames Jong-suk for being too old to even keep up with ward round notes. In no time, Jong-suk is transferred to the same department as her husband and son. But when they meet, the situation becomes extremely awkward. They never expected all three of them to be assigned to the same department. Yet they all pretend not to know each other. They even introduce themselves to one another. But during lunch, Jong-suk's motherly instincts almost give her away. Seeing her son Alex only take meat, she softly scolds him for an unbalanced diet. Then she adds some bean sprouts to his plate. Her son Alex quickly reminds her they're at the hospital. He tells her to be careful. After lunch, Jong-suk is pulled into the hallway by In-ho. He asks her what she's doing. He asks why she didn't discuss it with him before working at the hospital. Jong-suk coldly replies, "I was your family's maid for 20 years. Now I finally realized. I want to do what I choose." Jong-suk turns to leave, but before going she reminds In-ho not to talk about this at the hospital. What if other people find out about their relationship? This makes In-ho realize something. If other doctors find out that a professor's wife is working as an intern at the hospital, it would be really embarrassing. Jong-suk spends a busy day at the hospital, but when she comes home, tired after work, her mother-in-law stops her and wants to talk. She pretends to worry about Jong-suk, saying she shouldn't work right after surgery. But really she's mad. Jong-suk isn't home. No one even washed the dishes. After listening to her complaints, Jong-suk puts on gloves to wash the dishes. Then her daughter comes to her. Emma says, "Mom, what's wrong? Why do you treat brother better? When brother was in 12th grade, you didn't ignore him like you're doing to me now. You forgot I'm in 12th grade too. Other moms quit jobs to take care of their 12th grade kids. What are you even doing now?" Do you even want me to go to college? Jong-suk says you're the 12th grader, not me. College is for your own future, not for my benefit. Jong-suk tells her daughter she's given 20 years to this family. Now she wants to use her remaining time to follow her dreams. She tells her daughter to learn to be independent. She shouldn't always expect to live like before, where clothes and meals were handed to her. But her daughter doesn't understand at all. She rolls her eyes and walks out of the kitchen just as Jong-suk lies down after washing the dishes. Her husband In-ho comes to her again. He tells her to quit her job at the hospital tomorrow. He wants her to stay home as a proper lady. Jong-suk gets furious when she hears this. She says she's just a maid in this house. Every day she cooks, cleans, and does laundry. She even has to serve her perfectly healthy mother-in-law like a servant. She asks In-ho why he keeps stopping her from working at the hospital. She wonders if he's afraid she'll find out something. Is that why he won't let her stay there? In-ho panics when he hears this. He quickly says he won't stop her from working at the hospital anymore, because compared to letting her stay there, he's more afraid she'll discover his affair with Sung-hee back at the hospital. Jong-suk knows the theory well, but she's forgotten all the practical skills. That day a patient is in critical condition and needs a chest tube. Jong-suk calls the thoracic surgeon for help, but he says he's too busy. All her other colleagues are in surgery, so she goes to another department for help, but a coworker just says, "I don't know how," and refuses. There's no other way. Jong-suk calls her professor husband In-ho for help, but when In-ho learns she's asking for help with just a simple chest tube procedure, he refuses right away. He tells her not to bother him with such basic procedures in the future. Rejected, Jong-suk now pins her hopes on Dr. John, who's already off duty. But when Jong-suk calls Dr. John for help, she's taking a shower at home. Dr. John scolds her angrily. Dr. John says just wait. Jong-suk says the patient can't breathe. Dr. John says I'll come, just wait. But Jong-suk waits for an hour, and Dr. John never comes. Meanwhile, the patient's condition worsens. With no choice, Jong-suk calls In-ho again. She tries to beg him properly this time, but he still looks down on her. So Jong-suk threatens him. She warns that if he doesn't help, she'll reveal their relationship at the hospital. Angry, In-ho finally comes to the ER. But Professor In-ho hasn't done this simple procedure in 10 years. He struggles and can't insert the tube. Jong-suk says, "You can't even do this. Are you really a professor?" In-ho says, "I haven't done this in 10 years. I don't have time to help patients with chest tubes." Just then Dr. John arrives from home. She sees Professor In-ho doing this task. Dr. John is shocked. Dr. John quickly tells In-ho to rest. She says she can handle this job. In-ho has no choice but to step back. He says this is a good chance to see Dr. John's skills. Dr. John finishes the procedure in under a minute. The patient's breathing finally returns to normal. The next day the department holds a welcome party. Jong-suk naturally sits with a new male professor colleague. This professor is Roy, the surgeon who did her liver transplant months ago. They laugh and chat together. In-ho is furious after some drinks. A doctor asks about Jong-suk's background. He says, "You were a housewife for 20 years. What does your husband do?" Roy becomes interested in Jong-suk's answer. He wants to see how she'll explain this. In-ho stares intensely at Jong-suk. His face says, "You're dead if you tell them." But after seeing In-ho's expression, Jong-suk calmly says he's dead. When In-ho hears Jong-suk's answer, he spits his drink all over the doctor's face. The doctor quickly apologizes to Jong-suk, saying he shouldn't have asked such a question. Jong-suk waves her hands and says it's okay. She adds that her husband died over 10 years ago. She no longer has any feelings about it. She tells the doctor not to worry. Hearing this, In-ho gets so angry. Seeing In-ho's expression, Roy and Jong-suk burst out laughing. After the dinner, Jong-suk tries to get a ride home with In-ho, but In-ho gives her a no-way look. Jong-suk has no choice but to say she'll take a taxi. Just then Roy pulls up on his motorcycle in front of them. He says goodbye. Jong-suk quickly asks Roy to take her home instead. So right in front of In-ho and their son Alex, she gets on Roy's bike. After she leaves, In-ho's face turns red with anger. In-ho just bought his secret lover Sung-hee a $6,000 bracelet. The next day his wife finds the receipt. She's shocked to see it costs $6,000. Curious, she checks online and discovers it's a limited edition diamond necklace. When In-ho just gets home, Jong-suk curiously asks him if he bought something expensive recently. In-ho looks shocked when he hears this. "I found this in your coat pocket. Why would you buy such an expensive thing? This isn't small money." But In-ho quickly thinks of an excuse. He immediately scolds Jong-suk. He says she ruined the surprise by going through his things. In-ho says the bracelet was actually an early birthday gift for Jong-suk. He wanted to surprise her, but now she misunderstood him. He feels very disappointed. Jong-suk immediately becomes happy. She says, since she already knows about it, she asks In-ho to give her the bracelet now. But In-ho says he left it at his hospital office. Though she can't see it right away, Jong-suk is still very happy. She starts massaging In-ho's shoulders the next day to cover his lie. In-ho goes to the jewelry store and spends 6 million again to buy the same bracelet. But a few days later, while Jong-suk is treating a patient at the hospital, she sees In-ho walking with his first love, Sung-hee, and Sung-hee is wearing a bracelet that looks exactly like the one In-ho bought for her. Jong-suk suddenly feels dizzy when another doctor uses the defibrillator to save the patient. Jong-suk doesn't react in time. She and the patient both get shocked. In-ho sees this and rushes into the emergency room. He doesn't care what others think. Right in front of Sung-hee, he carries Jong-suk to the restroom. Sung-hee remembers how worried In-ho looked about Jong-suk. Angry, she throws the bracelet In-ho gave her into a drawer. When Jong-suk wakes up and sees Sung-hee again, she notices the bracelet is gone. She thinks she imagined it earlier. That evening after work, In-ho gives her a new matching necklace. Now she's sure she was mistaken. All her doubts about In-ho disappear. But the next day Sung-hee sees Jong-suk wearing the bracelet. She learns In-ho bought the same one for Jong-suk. This makes Sung-hee furious. What's worse, a co-worker rides home with her that night. The co-worker tells her hospital staff are gossiping about In-ho carrying Jong-suk from the emergency room. Everyone thinks they have a special relationship. After Sung-hee drops her co-worker off, she immediately calls In-ho to meet. As soon as they meet, Sung-hee throws the bracelet at him. Sung-hee says, "Take it back, I don't want it." In-ho asks, "Why are you saying this suddenly?" Sung-hee says, "How can I wear the same bracelet as your wife? How could you buy the same bracelet for both of us?" In-ho says, "Sung-hee, calm down, let's sit and talk." Seeing that Sung-hee knows about the bracelets, he quickly explains how Jong-suk found the receipt. In-ho says he told Jong-suk it was her birthday gift to avoid making her suspicious. So he had to buy the same bracelet for her. After hearing his explanation, Sung-hee has nothing to say. After all, their relationship is something they must hide. But what shocks Sung-hee more is her daughter's harsh words when she gets home. Her daughter says, "You should marry a good man." Sung-hee says, "I'm not looking for a stepfather for you." "Why?" Her daughter asks. "Did that guy tell you not to marry?" Sung-hee says, "What do you mean, that guy? How can you call your father that?" Her daughter says, "I'm just his secret child with his mistress. How dare I call him dad? Am I wrong? You are his mistress." Her daughter wants her to marry someone soon. Stop being In-ho's mistress. Don't live this dark life anymore. But instead of listening, Sung-hee tries to advise her daughter. She tells her daughter to wait. She says it won't be long soon they can live together as a family of 3. The daughter asks, "Did he ever say he'll divorce his wife for you? How can you believe such lies? Even I know that's a huge lie. How can someone your age still believe such nonsense?" When the old man goes to the hospital for colon cancer treatment, he's told that after surgery, he might need to wear a colostomy bag forever. Unable to accept this, the old man causes daily scenes at the hospital. Doctors and nurses are all annoyed with him. Only Jong-suk keeps visiting to comfort him. The day he plans to transfer hospitals for U.S. treatment, he has a heart attack. After 30 minutes of CPR in the ER, he still doesn't respond. When even the doctors give up, Jong-suk keeps doing chest compressions. Thanks to her efforts, the old man survives. When he wakes up, he tells Jong-suk he won't go to America. He says he can't waste this second chance she gave him. The old man says during CPR, he had an out-of-body experience. He saw Jong-suk desperately trying to save him. But while Jong-suk is trying to save him, the nurses outside are saying bad things about him. Even his bodyguard says on the phone that he's just a grumpy old man. Not even his own son cares about him. "My dad just won't die. He'll probably survive miraculously like before. Are you wishing for him to die sooner? Is that really necessary? Anyway, everything will be mine after he dies." The old man says no one around him cares about him. Only Jong-suk treats him like family and doesn't give up on him. So he decides to stay at this hospital for surgery. Luckily, the old man doesn't need a colostomy bag. After surgery, he can live like a normal person now. Jong-suk is truly happy for him. But seeing Jong-suk smile so happily, the old man starts to feel sad, because this woman cares about him more than his own son does. Jong-suk notices the old man's sadness. She immediately shows him a gift she bought earlier. Jong-suk says she worried he might be uncomfortable after surgery, so she bought him extra-large underwear. Seeing this thoughtful gift from Jong-suk, he feels guilty for being difficult with her before he makes a promise to himself to repay Jong-suk's kindness someday. A few days later, a female detective feels unwell and asks Jong-suk for help. She tells her to take an elderly prisoner for a checkup. Jong-suk feels sorry for the old woman and says the handcuffs will hurt her hands. She asks the detective to remove the handcuffs, but as she pushes the old woman toward the imaging room, Sung-hee suddenly finds her. Sung-hee, as a professor, orders Jong-suk to go to another hospital and pick up research materials. Jong-suk asks her, "Can I go in an hour? I need to stay with the patient for the checkup." But while Jong-suk and Sung-hee argue about this, the old woman suddenly runs away. By the time Jong-suk realizes only an empty wheelchair is left. Because of this, the leader scolds Jong-suk badly. "Are you crazy? What kind of useless resident are you? You're embarrassing the hospital. The bed is here, but the patient is gone. Darn it." Luckily, after the old woman leaves, a taxi driver notices she acts strangely. He takes her to a mental hospital, and she is caught there. Even though the prisoner is found, the leader calls Jong-suk to his office. He tells her to think about resigning. Jong-suk is deeply upset by this. Jong-suk starts to doubt if she's too old. She wonders if she can still do her job well at the hospital. Then she goes to her husband In-ho's office. She tells him about it, but In-ho immediately agrees she should leave the hospital. He tells her to go home and rest for a while. He also says if she ever wants to come back to work, he'll use his connections to help her return. His words make Jong-suk feel much better. She decides to quit her job, but as soon as she leaves, In-ho quickly calls Sung-hee. He tells her Jong-suk is quitting. He says once Jong-suk is gone, they can have their office romance again. Meanwhile, Jong-suk visits the old man with colon cancer. Today is his last day at the hospital. She wants to happily send him off, but knowing she's leaving too, she can't help feeling sad. The old man asks, and she explains everything to help her keep her job. He donates 10 billion won to the hospital that day, but his condition is Jong-suk can't be fired. Otherwise, he'll take all the money back. Thanks to him, Jong-suk keeps her job. Dr. John often orders her boyfriend to do things for her and scolds Jong-suk over small mistakes. Just now, Dr. John asks Alex to go to her dorm and get her phone, but Jong-suk overhears them. Jong-suk thinks Dr. John is bullying her son Alex, so she quickly volunteers to go get it instead. As soon as she enters the dorm, she sees clothes scattered all over the floor. Jong-suk has never seen such a messy room. She immediately starts cleaning up. While picking up the clothes, she spots a pair of men's shorts. Jong-suk thinks to herself, whose son is dating this woman? She must be suffering. But then she notices something on Dr. John's desk, a watch identical to her son Alex's. She quickly flips it over. Alex's name is engraved on the back. She is completely shocked. Jong-suk grabs the men's shorts she just folded. She realizes they are the same one she bought for Alex. Now she understands her son Alex is Dr. John's boyfriend. In no wonder every time she cares for Alex. Dr. John looks annoyed. After leaving the dorm, Jong-suk starts imagining things. She worries that if Alex marries Dr. John, she will just leave after meals without even washing dishes. All the housework will fall on Jong-suk. She feels her future will be miserable. To confirm if her son Alex is really dating Dr. John, she immediately calls Alex. She asks him if he has a girlfriend, but Alex insists he doesn't. However, Alex is actually having dinner with Dr. John right now. When Jong-suk returns to the office, she eagerly asks Dr. John, "Do you have a boyfriend?" "Yes." "Why do you ask? Who is it?" "Is it someone I know?" "I won't tell you. Your curiosity is your problem." Dr. John says, "I don't have to answer personal questions from you." Although Dr. John admits to having a boyfriend, she doesn't say it's Alex. Jong-suk wants to expose them right away that Dr. John and Alex are together, but she worries that if she does, their work relationship will become very awkward. While Jong-suk worries about her son, her husband In-ho secretly meets his first love, Sung-hee, at a hotel. But as they leave the hotel together, their co-worker, Roy, sees them. Roy remembers seeing In-ho with Sung-hee months ago. At the time, Roy didn't know In-ho. Now it's clear that In-ho and Sung-hee must have a special relationship. They must be involved in something. Early the next morning, Roy finds In-ho in the locker room. He tells In-ho he knows about his relationship with Sung-hee. Roy warns In-ho to stay away from Sung-hee, but In-ho pretends not to understand. He tells Roy to mind his own business. Later during rounds, In-ho takes out his anger on Jong-suk for no reason. He insults Jong-suk in front of everyone. He says she's useless as a trainee doctor. Roy sees this happen. After work, Roy finds Jong-suk. He's about to tell her about In-ho and Sung-hee. But just as he starts to speak, Jong-suk's mother-in-law appears and interrupts them. She even suspects Jong-suk and Roy are having an affair. If Jong-suk hadn't quickly explained that Roy was her surgeon, her mother-in-law wouldn't have believed they were just co-workers. Because of this interruption, Roy never gets to tell Jong-suk about In-ho and Sung-hee. The next day, Sung-hee approaches Roy in the cafeteria. She says, "I'll never leave In-ho. If you want to tell Jong-suk, go ahead. I don't care. If Jong-suk finds out, then I can be with In-ho openly." Roy immediately says he won't tell anyone. "I won't let your plan succeed." Roy leaves the cafeteria with a look of disgust. At the same time, Jong-suk checks the rooms and finds one young patient missing. Only a suicide note is left on the bed. After reading it, Jong-suk calls the police and starts searching. She finally finds the patient on the hospital roof. To calm the patient, Jong-suk sits beside him, risking her own safety to talk with him. When Roy and In-ho reach the roof and see Jong-suk near the edge, they both panic. Jong-suk quickly signals them not to come closer, but suddenly she falls off with the patient while trying to grab him. In-ho and Roy drop to their knees in shock. When they crawl to the edge, they see Jong-suk and the patient landed safely on an air cushion. They finally relax. Later, In-ho eats at a fancy restaurant with his secret daughter, Lily, but she invites his other daughter, Emma, there too. When In-ho sees his daughter Emma, he freezes in fear as his daughter asks why he's there. He's too scared to speak. But the secret daughter Lily stands up and reveals the truth. Lily says, "Actually, your dad is also my dad. I think you should know the truth now. Your innocent act has always annoyed me. Don't you get it? We're half-sisters. Same father, different mothers." In-ho yells, "Shut up." Sung-hee snaps, "Don't yell at my daughter." Just like that, In-ho's secret, hidden for 20 years, is finally exposed. Shocked, Emma says nothing. She turns and runs out as In-ho chases after her. Lily boldly tells her mother she did what her mother never dared to do. When the daughter gets home, she tells her grandma about In-ho's other family and blames her for failing to raise him right. To protect her mom, Emma warns her father for the first time, "Mom must never find out. If she learns the truth, I can't promise I won't do something crazy." Right after this warning, In-ho is dragged to his mother's room and beaten under pressure. He confesses his 20-year secret. He says that 20 years ago, while studying in the U.S. for the hospital, he reunited with his first love, Sung-hee. They get back together and accidentally have a baby. When his mother learns Sung-hee now works at their hospital and will be in the same department as Jong-suk, his mother gets even angrier. She grabs a pillow and hits In-ho with it. "My son isn't human. He's a complete monster. How can you let your wife and secret lover work together? Doesn't it bother you?" In-ho says, "Jong-suk came to our hospital on her own." Mother says, "Shut up." As his mother scolds him, In-ho blames Jong-suk for coming to their hospital. He and Sung-hee were getting along just fine. But now, because of Jong-suk, they have to be careful all the time. Though his mother keeps blaming him, she agrees Jong-suk must never find out. She tells In-ho to keep this secret forever. She says her granddaughter, Emma, already knows. But Emma wants to protect Jong-suk from getting hurt, so she won't tell Jong-suk the truth. But what In-ho doesn't expect is when his son, Alex, brings documents to the hospital, he accidentally sees a Sung-hee's message asking In-ho to meet her at the scheduled time. Alex secretly goes to the meeting place. There he sees In-ho and Sung-hee hugging. Alex sees it happen. Just like that, Alex becomes the third person in the family to know about his father's secret, to confirm if his father is really having an affair with Sung-hee. Alex confronts In-ho in the locker room, but In-ho thinks Emma told Alex the truth. He admits it right away. Alex immediately says his mother must never find out. Alex explains that Jong-suk is not well. He doesn't want her to get upset. He also doesn't want to ruin the family's peace. In-ho is happy to see his son share this attitude. He feels relieved. He asks Alex to understand him. In-ho says, "We're both men. Sometimes men can't resist temptation." But Alex refuses to listen to his father's excuses. He says he'll keep quiet only for his mother's sake. And so the four family members agree on this for the first time. No one dares to upset Jong-suk at home. Whatever she says goes. But because of this, In-ho, once the head of the family, now has the lowest status at home, just as they think their secret is safe, just when they think Jong-suk won't find out. She sees Sung-hee's old Instagram post at work. It's from her Paris trip months ago. Those were the same days In-ho went to Paris. A nurse also tells her In-ho took time off work those days. But he lied to her and said it was a work trip. Now everything makes sense to her. She remembers In-ho bought a bracelet, then the same dates. And Sung-hee wears that exact bracelet. To be sure, Jong-suk studies Sung-hee's social media posts, the places and times she traveled. Every trip matches In-ho's work trips. The dates and locations line up in one photo. She spots something. In-ho's reflection in a glass window. Now she's certain In-ho and Sung-hee are together. Jong-suk breaks down completely. She cries alone in the break room. Her whole body shakes with sobs. But crying won't fix anything. She decides to fight back. At her birthday dinner tonight, she'll expose In-ho in front of everyone. At the birthday party, Jong-suk, who is usually a gentle housewife, suddenly pushes In-ho's face into the cake. The whole family gasps in shock with wide eyes, but In-ho doesn't dare to say a word. He realizes Jong-suk must have found out something. Jong-suk says, "Honey, think of this as my birthday gift. I've always wanted to try this. Now I finally understand why people do this. It feels incredibly satisfying." She then wipes the cake off In-ho's face and asks him gently if he's hurt. But In-ho is too scared to react. He doesn't dare to think anything else. While washing the cream off his face in the bathroom, In-ho starts to worry if his affair has been exposed. Jong-suk's strong reaction shocks the whole family. They stay silent on the way home, too afraid to speak. To lighten the mood in the car, In-ho plays some music. He tries to please her by saying it's a song she liked in college. Jong-suk says, "You mean your ex-girlfriend? Not me, right?" As soon as she says this, the tension in the car rises again. The three in the back seat don't dare to make a sound. In-ho is so scared he can't even drive properly. Jong-suk, now heartbroken, shows no reaction. She says, "It's funny. Your ex-girlfriend and I have such similar tastes. Not just in songs or men. I wonder if she also met someone like you and got married." Hearing this, In-ho quickly changes the subject. The three in the back seat also jump in to help. They start talking about Jong-suk and In-ho's wedding. This makes Jong-suk even sadder. Tears start flowing down her face. She quickly says she doesn't feel well and asks In-ho to pull over. But after Jong-suk gets out of the car, they don't feel relieved. Instead, they get more nervous. They think Jong-suk is acting strange. She must have noticed something. Alex says, "No way. She laughed and called it a prank. She probably doesn't know." Emma says, "Maybe she's holding it in, waiting to find solid proof before confronting us." Mother-in-law says, "That can't be. No matter how angry a wife is, she wouldn't stay calm after finding out her husband is cheating. She'd usually go crazy and confront him right away." Hearing this, In-ho finally relaxes. When they get home, Jong-suk starts posting on TikTok with a heavy heart. She hopes to get some useful advice, but most of the comments just tell her. Most comments suggest she should get a lawyer's help. After reading them, Jong-suk forces a bitter smile. She stays awake until morning. In-ho doesn't notice her distress. He wakes up and asks where his tie is surprisingly. Jong-suk hands it to him kindly. But when she learns he's going to a funeral, she asks a shocking question. "When do you want to die?" Jong-suk leaves after saying this. She ignores In-ho's reaction. She tells him to come home early tonight. She says she has big news to share. Then she walks out. In-ho stands there stunned. He feels like he's waiting for a verdict. Next, Jong-suk visits a lawyer. But the lawyer advises her to find proof of In-ho's affair first. Hearing this, Jong-suk feels a heavy weight in her chest. She doesn't want to make a scene. She just wants to solve things quickly. But the lawyer's, "It's not that simple," crushes her courage. Helpless Jong-suk sits by the door and cries quietly. Meanwhile, the family gathers together. Everyone is guessing who told Jong-suk the news. As they argue back and forth, questioning each other, Jong-suk walks in. Jong-suk says, "I've decided to move out." She hopes her daughter will understand her choice. "Don't my opinions matter?" But this time the daughter stands up for Jong-suk. She says she supports Jong-suk's decision. The mean mother-in-law gets angry right away. She says she can't handle all the housework alone, and she hasn't found a helper she can trust. Hearing this, Jong-suk won't let her mother-in-law control her anymore. She's already exhausted and has to work. She tells her mother-in-law to either find a good helper or lower her standards. After hearing this, the mother-in-law doesn't dare say more. As Jong-suk wheels her luggage out, she looks at the kitchen where she spent 20 years of her life. She still feels reluctant to leave. When In-ho tries to help carry her bags, Jong-suk firmly refuses. But after Jong-suk steps outside, her mother-in-law suddenly has a bad feeling. "What's wrong? I feel like she won't come back." Outside, Jong-suk's emotions are still unsettled. After all, this is the home where she spent 20 years of her life. But a few days later, In-ho goes to Jong-suk's room, as usual. He asks her to help him find his work clothes, but the room is completely empty. Only then does In-ho realize how badly he took his wife for granted. He rushes to join Jong-suk for a free medical clinic event. He even shamelessly tries to greet her, but Jong-suk doesn't even look at him and walks away to hide his embarrassment. In-ho quickly turns away. He pretends to join a conversation with the hospital director and others, but he keeps watching Jong-suk's every move. When Jong-suk answers a phone call, he gets overly nervous. He strains his neck like a giraffe to see what's happening. Once on the bus, he quickly grabs a seat. When Jong-suk boards, he eagerly offers her his seat, but she walks right past him. When the handsome Roy gets on the bus, In-ho glares at him like an enemy. He hopes Roy won't sit next to Jong-suk, but Roy takes the seat right beside her. Frustrated, In-ho curses under his breath. After arriving at their destination, In-ho makes excuses to send his co-workers away. He tries to win Jong-suk over again, but she just gives him a quick glance. Then she runs off to join the free clinic group, leaving In-ho fuming behind her. At the same time, Jong-suk's mother-in-law secretly finds Sung-hee. She asks Sung-hee to end her relationship with In-ho soon. She says Jong-suk is the only daughter-in-law she accepts. "Mom, don't call me that. Whether you like it or not, Jong-suk is the only one I see as my daughter-in-law." Hearing this, Sung-hee quickly opens her phone and shows her daughter's photo. Jong-suk's mother-in-law says, "She's very pretty. You've raised her well, but I'll pretend I never saw this photo." After saying this, she walks away as Sung-hee cries in despair. A villager kneels and begs In-ho to check his father's backside. After being pulled by everyone, he has no choice. In-ho gets into the man's Ferrari and speeds off. Soon they reach the old man's house. He learns the man hasn't pooped for 21 days. No laxatives have worked. In-ho uses his special skill. He tells the man to wash his bottom first. Then he puts on a nice apron. He covers his hands with Vaseline. Then he reaches right into the man's backside. Instantly the room fills with a terrible smell. But after In-ho's treatment, the old man immediately feels much better. To thank In-ho for his help, the old man's wife cooks him a special dish. It looks and smells delicious, but In-ho feels sick just looking at it. He quickly lifts his smelly fingers and drinks some rice wine to calm down. Later, Jong-suk burns her hand while cooking. Roy rushes over worriedly and gently puts her hand in cold water as he asks if she's okay. In-ho appears behind them. Jong-suk just glares at him and walks away. Roy gets angry and throws a bowl of water at In-ho. "You jerk." Roy says he didn't see In-ho there, then turns and leaves. Just as In-ho gets mad, some older women walk by. "What's that smell? Did you fart?" "I did not." In-ho smells his clothes, then quickly changes his outfit. When he returns to the kitchen, he sees Jong-suk asking Roy to taste her soup. In-ho suddenly interrupts. "It tastes amazing." Jong-suk doesn't pay any attention to In-ho's actions, ignored again after Jong-suk leaves. In-ho immediately scolds Roy. "You seem very close to Jong-suk. You even sat next to her on the bus. My wife is quite friendly, isn't she?" Roy says, "Are you going to publicly announce that you're married now?" Roy's words scare In-ho instantly. In-ho nervously looks around. Clearly, In-ho doesn't have the courage to reveal the truth. Angry at Roy, In-ho challenges him to a drinking contest during dinner. But surprisingly, neither In-ho nor Roy can handle much alcohol. They both end up completely drunk. Suddenly, a lively song starts playing. In-ho and Roy suddenly feel energized. They become as close as brothers. They act like best friends. But just then Jong-suk happens to walk by. In-ho shouts, "Hey, wife." But this shout shocks everyone around. Roy is also startled. In-ho says, "Wife, come here. Come with me. Let's sing a song." Now it's out. The whole hospital knows their relationship while everyone is gossiping about it in group chats. Sung-hee can't take it anymore. She immediately finds In-ho. Sung-hee says, "I heard you got drunk and told everyone you're married." In-ho says, "News travels fast." Sung-hee says, Are you planning to divorce? Do you plan to divorce your wife?" In-ho says, "My wife did nothing wrong. I'm a terrible person, but how could I ask for a divorce?" Hearing this, Sung-hee looks completely heartbroken. She takes off the expensive bracelet and gives it back to In-ho. She says their relationship is over. In-ho tries to stop her, but Sung-hee has given up on him. She says, "Take care of yourself," and walks out. When Sung-hee's daughter, Lily, hears about this, she goes to Emma and picks a fight. Lily says, Give me your dad. She glares at Emma before leaving, but Emma won't let her get away with it. She grabs Lily's hair. They fight for their mother's happiness. Emma says, try messing with me again. Lily wants to provoke Emma, but she ends up getting hurt instead. When Sung-hee hears Lily is injured, she rushes to the car. Jong-suk sees In-ho going with Sung-hee. She freezes in shock after work that In-ho just announced their marriage yesterday. Now he's with Sung-hee again. Jong-suk snaps out of it and follows them. She wants to see what they're up to, but halfway she hesitates. Jong-suk tells the driver, just stop the car. The driver says, you need to see the truth to move on. Soon In-ho and Sung-hee reach the hospital. Seeing Lily's arm in a cast, Sung-hee panics. But she's the only one who cares. In-ho stays silent. Sung-hee turns her anger on In-ho. Then In-ho acts like a father asking Lily what happened. In-ho says, tell daddy. He doesn't realize. Their family-like conversation is heard by Jong-suk behind them. She breaks down. Her lips tremble. She can't believe. After caring for the family for years, her husband has another family. Jong-suk angrily confronts the other woman to claim her rights. Jong-suk says, everyone in the hospital knows that Professor In-ho and I are married. He told them himself. Let's get along from now on. The next day at the intern's farewell party though, In-ho and Jong-suk are seated apart. All their co-workers already know about their relationship. Everyone says they should sit together. Roy says there's no rule saying married couples must sit together. Hearing this, In-ho curses under his breath. When co-workers tease them again, he stands up to move without a word. As he smugly starts walking over, he deliberately makes Roy move aside. This makes Roy storm out angrily. Jong-suk sees everything but can't say anything. Still she follows Roy outside. Jong-suk thinks Roy is being targeted because of her. But Roy doesn't care. Roy says, I just think you deserve better. Professor In-ho isn't good enough for you. Hearing this, Jong-suk just smiles. She has already decided her path. To complete her 3-year residency training successfully, she wants to become a skilled senior doctor. She hopes to overcome this difficult time in her life soon. Roy says, after you get through this tough period, will I have a chance with you? Meanwhile, In-ho is furious inside the house. He sees that neither of them is at their seats. Angry, he keeps drinking. Soon he collapses on the floor. When Jong-suk returns, she helps In-ho back to his room. It takes a lot of effort to carry him inside. But as she tries to take his bag out, she accidentally finds a bracelet on the floor. Jong-suk picks it up and looks at it. She immediately understands something. Just then In-ho drunkenly mumbles. In-ho says, I love you, Sung-hee. I love you, Jong-suk. I want both of you. Furious Jong-suk grabs In-ho's hand and slaps him with it. Ouch! Jong-suk can't take it anymore. She angrily throws the bracelet away. She doesn't want to see In-ho, this jerk, for another second. When Jong-suk, with nowhere to go, sits alone in the park, Dr. John happens to pass by. She knows Jong-suk is upset, so she decides to take her for a drive. Dr. John asks, are you still upset? Jong-suk says, yeah. Dr. John immediately opens the convertible top. Then she steps hard on the gas pedal. Jong-suk suddenly feels an amazing sense of freedom at a red light. Dr. John asks, you want to kill those too, don't you? Jong-suk's eyes widen in surprise. She's about to say something when it suddenly starts pouring. Rain turns out. This is Dr. John's first time with the top down, and she can't figure out how to close it. Jong-suk asks, you don't know how to close your own car's roof. Dr. John says, I just opened it for the first time today. No choice. They have to keep driving through the heavy rain. But surprisingly, Jong-suk suddenly bursts out laughing. In this moment, she feels all her pain and sadness melt away. Her laughter carries a sense of relief. Maybe this is the only way she can let her feelings out. But early the next morning, Jong-suk storms angrily into the director's meeting. She yells at Sung-hee in front of everyone, get out here. When Sung-hee refuses, Jong-suk says, how dare you talk here? No choice, Sung-hee has to follow Jong-suk outside. But she doesn't expect what happens next. As soon as they enter the office, Jong-suk grabs Sung-hee's phone from her pocket. She orders her to call In-ho immediately. Sung-hee stumbles over her words, not getting to the point. Jong-suk snatches the phone from her. Jong-suk says, come here right now. Unless you want the whole hospital to know about your affair with Sung-hee. In-ho's eyes widen in fear. He nervously listens at the door. Hearing no loud noises, he sighs in relief, bracing himself. He steps inside. The three sit down. Jong-suk confronts Sung-hee. Tell me the truth. Jong-suk asks, your daughter, is she In-ho's child? In-ho says, honey, let me explain. Sung-hee says, yes, she's In-ho's daughter. They take turns explaining how it happened. Their back and forth sounds rehearsed. Jong-suk can't take it anymore. Jong-suk snaps. Need an audience for your love story. Fine, I hope your love lasts forever. Sung-hee realizes Jong-suk is serious. In-ho quickly explains. In-ho says we already decided to break up. Sung-hee says, who said you could break up? I'm not planning to leave you. Jong-suk is annoyed by this, but she ignores their drama now. She won't ruin her career over this. After 20 years of hard work, she finally became a doctor again. Before leaving, she gives Sung-hee a final warning. Sung-hee has 3 days to leave the hospital and get out of her sight. And you jerk, you better wait like a dead man. I'll deal with you when I decide how to end you. Jong-suk walks out with her head high. She looks victorious, but no one knows how much courage it took. However, Sung-hee is excited now. Sung-hee thinks In-ho will be free soon, but In-ho looks deflated. He drags himself back to his office. He finds a huge mess there. The coffee machine he gave Jong-suk yesterday is broken. So is the bracelet, the only gift he gave her in 20 years. He panics and picks up the bracelet. He curses Jong-suk angrily. How could she throw away something so precious? But just as he finishes yelling, Jong-suk suddenly storms back in. Jong-suk asks, does Emma know? Tell me the truth right now. She knows everything. What about Alex? He knows too. Even my mom, Mary, knows. Hearing this, Jong-suk completely loses control. She angrily smashes In-ho's office to pieces. She yells at him, you're such a jerk. Jong-suk says, I was the last to know, fine. But you made our kids lie for you. That's not all. You acted like nothing was wrong, right in front of me. Seeing Jong-suk at her breaking point, In-ho blames their children instead. In-ho says firmly, they worried about your health. They made me keep it secret. Later Jong-suk's best friend hears about this. She hugs Jong-suk tightly, heartbroken. She pats her back gently to comfort her. Then they go to a street food stall. The friend wonders why Jong-suk put up with it. She can't see what's so great about In-ho. How did 2 women fight over him? The friend jokes. Is he really good in bed? The moment she says this, everyone at the table is shocked. At the same time, In-ho sits with a gloomy face as his whole family questions him. His mother asks if he plans to return to his family or divorce and remarry, but In-ho still looks unsure. Even his son calls him a bad person. His daughter also laughs at him for not being loyal. You're really terrible. Jong-suk has already been forced out of the house, but Sung-hee, the other woman, keeps bothering her. Sung-hee says, if you get divorced, I'll leave this hospital. Are you telling me to divorce? Jong-suk finds this very ridiculous. Jong-suk doesn't understand why. Sung-hee thinks she has the right to talk about this. But Sung-hee starts defending herself with twisted logic. Acting arrogantly, she says she was In-ho's first love and that Jong-suk was the shameless one back then. Sung-hee claims she has been patient all these years. If she had selfishly taken In-ho away before, Jong-suk wouldn't even be here now. Jong-suk is so angry at this nonsense that she can barely speak. But Sung-hee doesn't stop. She says both she and Jong-suk made the same mistakes. Why is she the one people hate? While Jong-suk is seen as the victim, Sung-hee gets more and more worked up. She even blames Jong-suk for her daughter Lily not getting into a good university. Earlier Lily smashed all her art supplies for the exam. At home she cried as if heartbroken, but not a single tear fell. Sung-hee quickly tries to comfort her, but Lily yells at her angrily instead. Her hand was hurt by Emma, so she can't take the special admission exam. Sung-hee is confused. Can't she just take the regular exam later? But Lily has her own twisted logic. I can't stand Emma getting into a better school than me. Seeing her daughter so upset, Sung-hee feels terrible too. But she doesn't blame herself. Instead she blames Jong-suk for everything. But Jong-suk isn't fooled. She fires back at Sung-hee's twisted reasoning. Even if your daughter suffers, it doesn't make me happy. Your daughter's misfortune is the price for your mistakes. Stop wasting my time. She turns and walks away. Back in her dorm Jong-suk lies down. Suddenly, the old wiring shorts out. A fire starts instantly. Smoke drifts into the room through the vents. But Jong-suk, asleep, doesn't notice. Even the loud alarm in the hallway doesn't wake her up. But at this critical moment Roy suddenly appears. He rushes to Jong-suk's door like lightning. He shouts Jong-suk's name loudly. After some effort, he finally wakes Jong-suk from her sleep. Seeing that Jong-suk is okay when she opens the door, Roy immediately relaxes. At the same time In-ho hears about the fire. He looks very nervous. He runs over as fast as he can, but the thick smoke is too much for his weak body. Soon he's stumbling and falling on the ground. He wiggles like a worm on the floor. When he looks up he freezes in shock. Roy is carrying Jong-suk out in his arms like a princess. In-ho isn't happy about this. He struggles to stand and tries to take Jong-suk. Seeing this, Roy doubts In-ho's ability, but he carefully hands Jong-suk to him anyway. As soon as he takes her, Jong-suk pushes In-ho away. In-ho says, "Why are you with that guy again?" Jong-suk says he came for the same reason. "You did what? Did you only come because you're afraid I'll fight Sung-hee?" In-ho says, "Did Sung-hee come to see you?" Jong-suk says she yelled at me before leaving. The dorm needs to close for 3 days. They need to investigate the fire. Jong-suk worries about where to stay. Then Roy posts about a free room, but Jong-suk fears people will gossip, so she doesn't go there. She tries to stay at the hospital duty room, but all duty rooms are full. Dr. John sees Jong-suk's sad face. She suggests they both stay at Roy's place. This way no one will talk badly. Roy is happy. Jong-suk comes to his home. He smiles brightly, but In-ho gets angry when he hears this. He punches a sink in frustration. Later, at a meeting, In-ho rejects Roy's equipment request. He says, "The old equipment is still good. Roy just wants new things too soon." This makes things hard for the director. Roy can't stand him. Roy says, "Stop talking nonsense." Even the director isn't complaining. In-ho says, "What did you say?" The director stops their argument. This prevents a bigger fight. But no one expects what happens next. After the meeting the two men start fighting right in front of everyone. Even the hospital director tries to stop them, but it doesn't work. Then Jong-suk yells angrily, and the whole place suddenly goes quiet. The two fighters look like kids who did something wrong. "You're so old. Why are you still so emotional?" Jong-suk then turns to Roy and scolds him too. She says there are already too many rumors in the hospital, and now with this fight things will only get worse. But just 3 seconds later they start arguing again. In-ho gets even angrier. He asks Jong-suk why she won't go home, but stays at Roy's place instead. He shouts, "Aren't you ashamed?" Jong-suk gets really mad. What's there to be ashamed about? Roy quickly tries to explain things, but only makes it worse. In-ho says, "Put yourself in my shoes. How can I not think the worst?" Roy replies, "That's hard to do. I'm not having an affair. It's not like I'll suddenly have a secret child." In-ho curses angrily. He throws a punch at Roy, but Roy reacts faster. In-ho misses completely. In-ho tries to chase after Roy but suddenly hurts his back. Jong-suk sees In-ho looking weak and helpless. She doesn't want to deal with him anymore. She leaves while quietly reciting a calming chant. In-ho is left behind crying out in pain. Sung-hee tells Jong-suk to divorce In-ho. She wants to marry In-ho herself. Jong-suk says, "If I leave, everyone will be happy." In-ho quickly says he doesn't want that. He asks Jong-suk to give him time to end things. Soon In-ho meets Sung-hee to talk. Before he can say anything, Sung-hee already knows what he wants to say. She says, "Say anything except break up. If you say it, I'll kill you." But In-ho has no choice. To win back Jong-suk and his family, he must leave Sung-hee and Lily. Only then can he return to his family. Sung-hee can't accept In-ho's coldness. She yells, "You have no right to say this. Our relationship ends only when I say so. If you ever say this again, I'll be the one to expose everything. Not your wife. Do you understand?" She shouts angrily. Abandoned again, Sung-hee has no way to vent. She closes her eyes and screams in her car because of a doctor's mistake. The girl never wakes up again. Hearing the news, the girl's mother collapses to the floor crying. This medical accident happens to involve Alex. But as his father, In-ho tries to protect his future. He quickly shifts the blame to the family medicine department. He directly pins the fault on Sung-hee. The director says, "He's trying everything to make you take the blame. You might lose your job." The director's words shock Sung-hee. She never thought the man she loved for decades could be so cruel. But when she angrily confronts him, In-ho openly tells her. In-ho says, "The patient was under the family medicine department from admission to discharge. Of course it's your responsibility." Sung-hee says, "How is it our fault? We requested a consultation. After you reviewed it and confirmed it was fine, we agreed." In-ho says, "Did we?" Sung-hee says, "Hey In-ho." Seeing In-ho act shamelessly, even Roy feels sorry for Sung-hee. Meanwhile, Dr. John finally finds the missing Alex. Just as In-ho is about to scold his son, Jong-suk's words echo in his mind. "I'm not telling you to cover for him blindly, just don't crush his self-respect." In-ho forces himself to hold back his anger. Instead he advises his son based on his own experience. "If you want to be a good doctor, you can't run away when you make a mistake. You should learn from your mistakes. I don't know what you think, but I'm sure you have something better than me. His father's words make Alex feel confident again. Then Alex changes into formal clothes to apologize to the patient's family. But in the hallway he sees Dr. John waiting for him. Alex looks very upset. Dr. John doesn't know how to comfort him. She just says she'll stay by his side until he feels better. Alex finally lets go of his sadness. Tears start rolling down his face. With Dr. John beside him, Alex bravely enters the girls' memorial hall. Soon it's time for In-ho's father's Memorial Day. While Jong-suk is busy preparing offerings, her mother-in-law thinks Jong-suk has forgiven In-ho. In-ho also thinks his mother is right. He plans to do his best to impress Jong-suk. But when In-ho asks his mother for help, she refuses. She says, "I just got my nails done." In-ho says, "Please help me this time. You're also part of this problem." She says, "Why am I part of it? You cheated, not me." During the memorial ceremony, Jong-suk looks very serious, but her mother-in-law doesn't seem to care. Even during dinner the mother-in-law says these rituals are pointless. She adds that Jong-suk worked hard all day for nothing. She suggests stopping them in the future. The family thinks the mean mother-in-law is worried about Jong-suk's health. But when Jong-suk says the mother-in-law should prepare next time, the mother-in-law gets angry. She says she never learned to cook. She can't possibly handle it. Even when the family offers to help, the mother-in-law still refuses. Emma the clever one seems to notice something. Emma asks, "Grandma, do you have a boyfriend?" To everyone's surprise, the mother-in-law admits it. She even plans to have a golden wedding honoring her late husband. Now feels awkward. In-ho feels upset about his mother remarrying. He keeps complaining after dinner. He says it's ridiculous for someone her age to date. He thinks it's absurd. In-ho unexpectedly goes to wash dishes, but Jong-suk isn't impressed. She tells him to go back to his room. But In-ho acts differently. He says he ignored housework before he promises to help more. Jong-suk says it's good he's learning now. After all, she won't be around later. In-ho freezes at her words. He quickly asks what she means. Jong-suk has given up all hope and decides not to hide the truth anymore. Jong-suk says, "Let's get divorced." In-ho says divorce. Jong-suk says she notices that In-ho's car has a sticker for disabled people like her. But he drives Sung-hee around the city instead. She can't even sit in the car. She feels like her 30 years of youth were wasted. So she asks In-ho for a divorce. Jong-suk says, "Let's divorce." But when In-ho hears the word divorce, he suddenly collapses to the ground. Jong-suk thinks he's faking again. She tells him to get up, but he doesn't move. Then she realizes he really passed out. Jong-suk says, "Honey, open your eyes." "Honey." Hearing the noise, In-ho's mother and kids rush downstairs. Jong-suk carefully lifts In-ho's eyelid to check. Turns out he was faking it. Jong-suk gets even angrier. She tells her son to bring a bowl of water, just as she's about to splash it on him. In-ho can't pretend anymore. This makes Jong-suk even madder. Seeing that Jong-suk still won't forgive him, In-ho's legs give out. He drops to his knees in front of her. But Jong-suk isn't moved by his act. In-ho quickly starts acting cute to get his way. "I don't want a divorce, honey." But cheating and having a teenage love child isn't something Jong-suk can forgive just because he kneels. Angry and embarrassed, In-ho jumps up. He yells that Jong-suk can't decide about divorce alone. She didn't even discuss it with him. Jong-suk snaps. "Did you discuss cheating on me? I'm not asking. I'm telling you we're divorcing." She turns to leave, but 3 eavesdroppers burst in. They demand to know if divorce is really happening. In-ho quickly says no, but Jong-suk firmly says her decision is final. Hearing this, her mother-in-law drops to the floor crying. She wails that if she'd known such shame would come, she should have died with her husband. Then she complains, "How do you even have the energy to divorce at your age? You're so full of life." In-ho snaps, "You're dating at your age." No wonder she's got the energy to demand a divorce. Meanwhile, Jong-suk worries most about Alex and Emma after the divorce. "I'm sorry. I wish this never happened." "It's okay, Mom." Looking at her 2 understanding kids after they leave, Jong-suk finally breaks down. She hides in her room and cries into her hands. The next day In-ho is so distracted by the divorce that he can't focus. He even gets a patient's name wrong. "Ms. Rose, Dad, that was the last patient. Sorry, I mixed you up with someone else." On his way out, a kid bumps into In-ho and knocks him over. In-ho just sits on the ground, not wanting to get up. Alex happens to walk by and sees him. Alex quickly helps this big lump of a man up. Alex scolds In-ho, saying he should have thought about this earlier. But In-ho isn't angry at all. Instead, he asks Alex to talk to Jong-suk for him. He knows Jong-suk won't listen to him. Alex tells In-ho to put himself in her shoes. If Jong-suk had met another man and had his child, would In-ho forgive her? Hearing this, In-ho feels helpless. He walks outside to clear his head. When he looks up at the sky, he suddenly gets lost in romantic thoughts. He looks at his phone with deep emotion. He raises his big hand. He takes a photo of the sky. Jong-suk receives a text message. She opens it. The sky is so beautiful today, I suddenly miss you. After reading this, Jong-suk gets goosebumps. But when she sees her son, Alex, she cheers up. She happily skips inside to check on him. But when she opens the door, she finds Alex and his future wife acting like they're in a steamy drama. Shocked, Jong-suk holds her breath. She quickly closes the door. They're even wilder than we were at their age. Oh my. The next day, In-ho hears his mother-in-law is sick. He rushes to the hospital in a panic. He warmly promises to call all his classmates and professors to help her recover quickly. His unusual concern surprises Jong-suk. Her mouth twitches slightly. In-ho immediately contacts specialists. He arranges everything. Then he brags to Jong-suk about his efforts. But Jong-suk isn't as grateful as he expected. Instead, she coldly tells him to stop pretending. She accuses him of never thinking about her or her mom all these years. Now he only acts caring because he's afraid of divorce. So she firmly says, once her mom leaves the hospital, she will file for divorce. But In-ho isn't ready to give up. At a family dinner celebrating Jong-suk's mom's discharge, In-ho first apologizes to her mom. He says he always used work as an excuse and neglected his family. That's why she ended up in the hospital. He realizes family love and warmth are the most important things in life. So he decides from now on he'll cherish and protect his family more. Jong-suk's mom says, thank you for saying that. As long as you and Jong-suk are happy, I'm satisfied. In-ho says, we will be very happy. Suddenly In-ho pulls out 2 money-shooting machines from who knows where. Everyone is confused about what he's up to now. In-ho tries to act cute. He wanted to make his mother-in-law happy. But the whole family scolds him. Dad, how can you shoot money here? Do this at home, not in public. Jong-suk's mom says, it's okay, son-in-law, I'm touched. This is the first time in my life I've been hit by money. Thank you so much. Just then, Jong-suk's mother-in-law goes to the restroom. But as soon as she steps out, she sees the old man she's been dating sitting with another woman. The old man panics when he spots her. Who is this lady? Then everyone in the room hears a loud scream. The mother-in-law yells, hey you, shameless woman, how dare you steal my man? In-ho rushes out and tries to pull them apart. But the other woman says something shocking. You're the son who cheated and has a secret daughter. Right? Like mother, like son, both of you are shameless. Hearing this, Jong-suk's mom's eyes widen in shock. She looks stunned and confused. As Jong-suk and the others hold their breath, Sung-hee and Lily arrive at the same restaurant. In-ho sneaks away like a coward and confronts Sung-hee and Lily, asking why they're here. Lily angrily replies, they're just here to eat. Did he think they were following him? At the same time, Jong-suk's mom starts questioning the others, one by one. Seeing the 3 of them bow their heads nervously, she realizes they already knew the truth. Finally, her eyes turn to Jong-suk. Jong-suk, you knew too. Jong-suk says mom. Seeing Jong-suk hesitate to speak, her mother feels dizzy with shock. Meanwhile, In-ho begs Sung-hee and Lily to leave quickly. He tells them to eat at another restaurant. Just then an angry shout is heard. Where is that jerk In-ho? He nervously steps forward to face her. Jong-suk's mom stares at In-ho. She orders him and Jong-suk to go to her house as soon as they arrive. Jong-suk's mom asks directly if the rumors are true. In-ho says, I'm sorry, mom. His apology confirms everything. Jong-suk's mom suddenly remembers Sung-hee, the doctor who treated her. She was In-ho's mistress all along. Looking at Jong-suk, who stays silent, her mom feels both heartbroken and furious. She deeply sympathizes with Jong-suk's pain, so she directs all her anger at In-ho. In-ho quickly kneels down. He promises his mother-in-law he will change his ways. Jong-suk asks her mother to forgive her. Mother says, how you two solve this is up to you. After speaking, mother asks Jong-suk to accompany her to the hospital. Mother wants to bring all her hospital belongings home. She doesn't want to stay in the hospital for even one more minute. But right after arriving, Jong-suk gets called by a doctor. The doctor tells Jong-suk her mother has an aortic aneurysm. She needs immediate surgery. Sung-hee happens to be an expert in this field. Jong-suk walks to Sung-hee's office doors several times, but hesitates to knock. After learning about her condition, mother starts packing to leave. Jong-suk quickly hugs her mother. Jong-suk says, I'm a doctor at this hospital. You can choose another hospital if you want. But here, I can take better care of you. Most importantly, there's an extra benefit. We get staff discounts here. Mother says, you win this time. Mother finally agrees to stay for treatment. Since the family troubles began, Emma has become well-behaved. She goes to Sung-hee alone to apologize. She says, I shouldn't have hurt Lily. Sung-hee says, then you should apologize to Lily. Emma promises to apologize to Lily in person, but still asks Sung-hee to leave her father In-ho. Emma says, my dad isn't perfect, but I'm scared of losing him completely. She promises that if Sung-hee agrees, she'll give up art school, just like Lily did. Later Emma finds her brother Alex. They buy a cake to surprise their grandma. In-ho sees this as he's about to enter. He smiles sadly and quietly leaves. Meanwhile Sung-hee starts working hard on Jong-suk's mom's treatment. She even calls her mentor in America for advice. Finally, she makes a treatment plan. With her help, Jong-suk's mom recovers well. Jong-suk thanks Sung-hee. The two women who fought for years finally make peace. Sung-hee tells Jong-suk that Emma came to see her. She asks Jong-suk to tell Emma not to feel guilty. Choose the college she likes. We have already hurt the kids too much. Jong-suk finally lets go of her anger. She goes to see In-ho. She throws divorce papers at him. I'll text you what documents to prepare in 2 days. I'll file when we have everything. In-ho gets very angry. He shouts, divorce isn't just your decision. If you keep acting like this, I won't cooperate at all. Think about your mother's health. She just got better, and now you want a divorce. It will hurt her deeply. Do you really have to go this far? Jong-suk says, I must get a divorce. In-ho says, I won't agree to a divorce. In-ho says, if you still want a divorce, then take me to court. Jong-suk laughs angrily at his behavior. She yells, you're shameless. Jong-suk says, you're the one who messed up this marriage. In-ho says, I know. That's why I knelt and apologized to you. I'm trying my best to make it up to you. In-ho says, if you file for divorce, I'll spend all my money to stop you from leaving me. Jong-suk is too angry to speak. But this doesn't stop In-ho from having late-night snacks with Sung-hee. After a few drinks, In-ho starts acting wild. He complains to Sung-hee with a pitiful face, saying Jong-suk wants a divorce. He can't understand why she's treating him this way. In-ho says, I know I made mistakes, but I even knelt and begged for her forgiveness. Sung-hee says, you knelt. In-ho says yes. Sung-hee says, how can you say that to me? Angry, she downs a glass of wine in frustration. Sung-hee tries to calm her shock. She tries to calm her shocked feelings. Then she leaves In-ho on the side of the road. But when In-ho wakes up, he finds himself lying on a flower bed. As soon as he gets home, he receives divorce papers from the court. Oh no, these are divorce papers. His mom panics. She asks if he really wants a divorce. She scolds him for not winning Jong-suk back yet. She worries about who will take care of things at home. In-ho rushes to the hospital to confront Jong-suk. He asks why she's being so harsh. In-ho says I just got the divorce agreement yesterday. Now I received divorce papers this morning. Do you really want to leave me that badly? Jong-suk says you told me to file for divorce. But In-ho says he only said that because he didn't actually want a divorce. Don't you understand what I meant? Jong-suk tells him. She did this to show she's serious about leaving. Seeing her determination, In-ho suspects Roy is the reason she wants a divorce. He tells her not to flatter herself. He says Roy is a young guy. He's not stupid. He wouldn't like an older woman with 2 kids. Jong-suk is so angry at In-ho's words. It's clearly his fault, but he blames others instead. The last bit of love she had for him is now gone. Say something before you leave. Angry Jong-suk goes to the bathroom. She wants to wash her face and calm down. Suddenly she feels dizzy. She thinks it's because of all the stress. But then she starts coughing while drying her hands. Tests show her transplanted liver is failing. Jong-suk says, this is so sudden. I'm still in shock. After Jong-suk leaves in despair, Roy, who likes her, calls Dr. John right away. He asks for a liver function test. He also wants a 1 millimeter liver tissue sample. Roy wants to donate his liver to Jong-suk. Meanwhile, In-ho's mom gets a call from the police. They say the nursing home she invested in is a scam. The old man she dated is actually a con artist. She lost 300 million won. She starts crying on the spot. She drags In-ho to a law firm in a hurry. She asks how the divorce will split their money. She once bought a house under Jong-suk's name. The lawyer asks, did you do this to avoid taxes? Did you buy the house under Jong-suk's name to avoid taxes? In-ho's mom says, yes, that's right. Hearing this, In-ho looks shocked. He didn't even know about it. The lawyer says, what you did is illegal under someone else's name. You'll face a 200 million won fine and 5 years in jail. Even if it's not illegal, you must prove Jong-suk had no part in buying the house. In-ho's mom says, "So you're saying my house will be taken away?" She then tells In-ho to explain the truth to Jong-suk. She wants her to sell the house fast. Even below market price is fine. When questioned, In-ho's mom admits she was tricked. Hearing this, In-ho's face freezes in shock. Seeing In-ho won't help, his mom says, "You won't help me." That night, she goes to Jong-suk's mom. She plans to talk after drinking, but drinks too much and falls asleep on the couch. Waking up, she's too embarrassed to speak. She calls In-ho right away. She tells him to borrow money from Sung-hee. She says 300 million won is like buying a bag for her. In-ho says, "What nonsense are you saying, Mom? Don't even dream about it." No choice. In-ho has no choice but to ask Jong-suk for help. Jong-suk asks with concern, "You look pale. What's wrong?" Jong-suk thinks he heard about her illness. But In-ho suddenly changes the topic. He gets straight to the point. He tells Jong-suk his mother bought a house under her name. Now there's a problem. They need to sell it to pay debts. He wants Jong-suk to contact a realtor quickly to solve this issue. Without thinking, Jong-suk says, "I don't want it and I don't want to sell the house." In-ho feels angry now, but he holds back when he thinks of the 300 million won. He forces a smile and says the house is in her name, but his mother paid for it. "Do you have proof?" Jong-suk says this is pre-divorce property. Why should she help people who used her? In-ho yells, "What nonsense about property division?" He scolds her for calculating assets before they're even divorced. She didn't pay a single one for these properties. Jong-suk stays calm. She quietly says after divorce, she only wants that house. She can let them keep the house for the 300 million won her mother-in-law needs. She suggests In-ho sell that house to pay the debt. Then they can rent a small place or buy one in the countryside. Both options work. If he just sells the house. In-ho goes to see Sung-hee. His mistress In-ho says, "Want to invest in me?" Sung-hee yells, "You jerk. You've ruined me enough. Now you dare ask for money." Seeing In-ho's shameless expression, Sung-hee says she won't be like his mother giving money to men. She reveals Jong-suk has liver failure. She says they're both partly responsible for her condition. Meanwhile, Jong-suk takes the kids to her mom's house. She cooks them a big meal, then calmly tells them about her illness. She comforts them not to worry. She promises to get proper treatment. Everything will be fine. The kids exchange worried looks, realizing how serious it is, but they stay quiet to protect their grandma. When In-ho hears about the liver failure, he remembers all the times he secretly met Sung-hee. He recalls how he mistreated Jong-suk. He even yelled at her to quit her job so she wouldn't interrupt his dates with Sung-hee. Maybe only when he truly loses her does he finally feel this pain. In-ho keeps thinking and regrets everything. His heart hurts so much he can't even keep driving. Finally, he collapses to the ground, crying in regret. The next morning, In-ho goes to Jong-suk's hospital room. He says he's willing to donate his liver to her. Now, though In-ho seems sincere this time, Jong-suk firmly refuses. Jong-suk says, "I don't need it." She tells him to stop pretending when she really needed his liver before he wouldn't donate. Now he's only doing it because he's afraid of divorce. "Why must you make me see you as a jerk till the end?" Hearing this, In-ho drops to his knees with a broken voice. He says he knows he was wrong, but he still begs Jong-suk for one last chance. At these words, Jong-suk's lips start trembling. Tears stream down her face, but she's not crying because she's moved. She's heartbroken that after all the pain In-ho caused her, he only regrets it when it's too late. But Jong-suk stays firm about the divorce. She tells In-ho to stop wasting his time. Even if she dies, it's her fate. What shocks In-ho is Roy already volunteered to donate his liver to Jong-suk before him. Roy says, "I can give you my liver." But Jong-suk says she lived with her husband for 20 years, and he wouldn't do it. She tells Roy not to make such a quick decision. Jong-suk says, "I want to see you live a healthy life." Meanwhile, In-ho is in the bathroom thinking hard for a long time. When he decides to text Jong-suk an apology, he accidentally hears Alex talking to a coworker. "Professor Roy already decided to donate his liver to your mom." Hearing this, In-ho rushes out of the bathroom. He quickly calls Roy. In-ho asks, "Where are you now?" After getting the address, they meet soon after. In-ho angrily confronts Roy. He asks why an outsider is getting involved. Roy replies, "Is that wrong?" Roy says, "She has me. I'll donate to her." In-ho demands, "Why are you interfering?" Roy answers, "Because I don't know when you'll change your mind and back out. So I'd rather donate my own liver." Seeing he can't win the argument, In-ho starts comparing whose liver is healthier. "I don't even drink. My liver is much fresher than yours. I'm younger than you, and I exercise often. Please be realistic. And you've been drinking a lot lately. In-ho argues back. What's wrong with having a few drinks? But just then Jong-suk suddenly walks out from behind. Her confident presence stuns both men. Jong-suk tells them to stop arguing. She says their conversation sounds ridiculous. In-ho thinks Jong-suk came at the right time. He demands she choose right now who should donate their liver. Let's ask her directly. Let's do that. Jong-suk struggles to decide. She looks at In-ho, then turns to Roy. Roy instantly looks thrilled. But after thinking carefully, Jong-suk points to Roy's cool motorcycle. Instead, she says she doesn't want either liver. She just wants Roy to take her for a ride. Sure thing. Let's go then. Meanwhile, In-ho watches them leave sadly. Be careful. But after experiencing the thrilling ride, Jong-suk's liver fails the next day. She needs emergency surgery. Jong-suk thinks of her home of 20 years. She asks Roy for one day off to clean and organize everything. She also makes enough kimchi for them to eat for a whole year, no matter how badly they treated her before. Jong-suk still worries about them. When her daughter Emma comes home, she hugs Jong-suk and says, I wish you could stay at home with us every day, like before. While Jong-suk talks with Emma, In-ho sees the neat and clean kitchen. His eyes turn red with emotion. He decides to let go of their past. He goes to his room and signs the divorce papers. As they say goodbye, something unexpected happens. Her mother-in-law still wants Jong-suk to forgive In-ho. She says, I really don't understand you. My son has apologized and asked for forgiveness. Can't you just accept it? Do you really think divorce will make things better? Though Jong-suk feels sad, she stands firm in her decision. In-ho hands her the signed divorce papers. He promises not to bother her anymore, but hopes they can stay in touch for their daughter's sake. Meanwhile, her mother-in-law opens the fridge and finds it full of kimchi. She feels deeply moved. This kimchi will become a memory they can't bear to throw away. Why does she have to make people cry even now? In the end, Jong-suk finally accepts In-ho's liver transplant. Roy is the main surgeon for the operation. In-ho says, during the surgery, cut out as much as possible. Roy replies, that was already my plan. In-ho says, you don't have to be so eager to cut out a huge piece. I know you'll do it well. But also think about the donor's safety. Before In-ho finishes speaking, the anesthesia takes effect. After Roy's long and careful surgery, Jong-suk's operation is a complete success. After leaving the hospital, they go to the courthouse. Together they finalize their divorce papers. Jong-suk treats In-ho to lunch. They part ways peacefully. Each moves on with their life. Not long after In-ho becomes the hospital director, for a moment it feels like a dream. Jong-suk and the kids rush in happily, smiling and congratulating him. They praise him. But then, when In-ho snaps back to reality, he realizes it was just his imagination. He sits alone, tears falling sadly. Meanwhile, Sung-hee buys a nursing home. She tells In-ho she's quitting her job as a doctor. We should probably break up. Let's meet sometimes because of Lily. From now on, they only stay connected because of their child. Months later, Roy confesses his feelings to Jong-suk. Roy says, I like you, but Jong-suk rejects him right away. She thinks Roy should find a girl who suits him better. She also says she wants to live alone from now on. Alex and Dr. John decide to be together. They spend the rest of their lives happily. At the end of the story, Jong-suk is about to go to a faraway village to do free medical work. Before leaving, she sees her son and daughter-in-law. They hug Jong-suk goodbye. Then In-ho also tries to hug her. Jong-suk says, what? Go away. Finally Jong-suk gets on a boat alone.